Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. This is a marriage-minded channel, and I want to talk about marriage today, and that is that getting good at marriage requires permanence. In other words, it's not going to be something you just jump into, whether for the woman overseas like I did about 10 years ago or someone else. So as I try to say many times, you have to forget about the notion of some fairy tale and men and women just getting along so great from the start. That thought has to be dashed before you even get married. So I'm not trying to come off as negative in my videos, just realistic. So please subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea and get notifications turned on, and leave a comment here. This comes from an article from Mark Travers called Two Marriage Lessons Most Couples Learn the Hard Way. And so I decided to title it something else for this video. And let's just get into what he says here. He says, we often romanticize marriage as a magical union, something shared between two people who are perfectly compatible. Yet, anyone who's been married for a while will tell you the truth. Marriage is anything but effortless. Unfortunately, however, many people only come to understand this reality the hard way, well after experiencing bumps in the road. And here are two of the most important lessons that marriage teaches us and why they're often only learned the hard way. Number one, nobody is born a good partner. Nobody is born a good partner. This is me here. When I think of people who've been divorced multiple times, blaming only the woman that they were married to means to me they didn't learn anything about their marriage. And so they came into it needing to learn, and they never did. From the article, it's comforting to think that some people are naturally good at relationships, as if being a perfect spouse is a talent some are born with, but that's a dangerous myth. The truth is, nobody comes into a marriage fully equipped with all the skills needed to effectively develop and navigate a lifelong partnership. Good partners are made, not born. And that's what I try to do here on Love Beyond the Sea with these relationship videos, is get realistic about what you'll be getting into. Now, being a good partner, he says, in many ways requires both hard and soft skills, I agree, like communication, empathy, time management, decision-making, and emotional intelligence. Just as we know in the workplace, these aren't innate traits. We have to learn them through experience, practice, and often failure. Together, these skills are known as romantic competence, according to a 2017 study from Personal Relationships. And it mentions effective communication. For most people, this isn't something that comes naturally. In fact, so many couples struggle with expressing their needs or resolving conflicts without becoming defensive or reactive. Learning how to communicate well takes time and effort, and mistakes are bound to happen along the way. And as someone that's been married since 2015 to a woman I love dearly, yeah, sometimes there are issues with us communicating, and personally, sometimes I think I can, overreact or react so strongly to something that it just sets a bad tone. And so I have to learn to just wait a few seconds before I talk and think about how I want things to go after I've said what's on my mind. You really do need to stop and count to 10 once in a while. And he says, that's my dog playing with his new toy. Above this, marriage requires us to confront parts of ourselves that we may not even be aware of, like our emotional triggers, fears, and unhelpful patterns of behavior. He says perhaps you grew up in a family where emotions were rarely expressed, so you never really learned how to open up to your partner. Or maybe you have the tendency to avoid conflict at all costs, even when it means suppressing your own needs. These habits don't just disappear the day you say, I do. In reality, we need to actively put in the work necessary to address these blind spots. We have to become good partners. I like that. Become good partners. Lesson 2, what you put in is what you get out. Another comment I've mentioned many times. He says marriage is not a passive experience. You can't just coast through it and expect things to work out in your favor. Instead, the quality of your relationship is a direct reflection of the effort you and your partner put into it. As research from the Journal of Family Psychology suggests, what you put in is what you get out. It may sound like a cliche, but it's perhaps one of the truest statements about marriage. I just finished, I'll probably put those 3 videos out about what real marital love looks like. And that's going to probably make some people unhappy because it talks about just the length that you have to go to keep that marriage together. And that ties into what is being said here. Effort manifests in many different ways, like being present, always showing appreciation, actively fitting quality time together into your schedules, and most importantly, choosing to work through challenges instead of avoiding them. And I'm just saying here, it's amazing how busy you can get that you didn't expect. And, that causes some conflict potentially, which means you have to communicate well. They say consider intimacy. For example, it's easy to forget to make time for physical and emotional intimacy when life gets hectic. That's true. When it gets hectic, busy, or monotonous. But like many aspects of marriage, intimacy doesn't sustain itself. It requires regular watering. Similarly, conflict resolution is another area where effort pays dividends. Avoiding difficult conversations may seem like your best option in the moment, as it offers more comfort and less tension. In reality, though, this is just the path of least resistance. Unresolved issues will ferment only to erupt later on. He continues, only spouses that see the true value of their marriage recognize the necessity of doing the hard work needed to survive the challenges that naturally come with it. What are you doing, Sky? She's chewing on something she shouldn't be. She just got back from the groomer. She looks like she lost half her weight. So back to the article here. Only spouses that see the true value of their marriage, another great statement, recognize the necessity of doing the hard work needed to survive the challenges that naturally come with it. I just have to say, if you don't value your marriage and it's not intrinsically important to you, then why would you push yourself to endure and to believe things can get better and to continue to be patient and kind and love when things are tough? The amount of energy they pour into it determines what they get out of it. I agree. They know that a marriage that feels fulfilling, supportive, and joyful isn't the chance encounter. They know it's something you have to study, practice, and strive for. So there's more to the article, but I just want to end there. I did a lot of studying before I got married. Over a long period of time, we're talking books, tapes, even videotapes. What else? Conversations with people I thought, could help me. Mentoring, that's a good way to learn, to be prepared. Now, no matter how well prepared you are, and as I try to prepare you here with this channel, you still have to go out and do it. It's like sports. Another sports analogy I'll give is you've got players that are really good in practice and they just tear it up on the court or on the football field. But when the clock starts and you're out there playing for real, things are different and they make mistakes. But you can't run away from those mistakes. You must learn from them because you're going to make them, and there are going to be challenges, and that has to be okay in your mind. When you're dating, that's one thing. Now when you're getting married, it's like a promotion to a higher level. And you got to start everything all over again in a sense, because you've probably been a lot of the times avoiding conflict, like was mentioned in the article, when you're dating, but when you're married, you really can't do that. So anyway, I hope this helps, and please, again, remember to turn on notifications and subscribe here and leave a comment on Love Beyond the Sea.